What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, or as they call me around here, Enosh Fett. It is so good to have you with me today. Today we are talking about the new He-Man movie and the casting choice for that movie. Now, I want to say right off the bat, we do live streams here on the channel on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have a little segment that we call Talk Nerdy to Me, and I would invite you to do that. Tuesdays we watch The Flash live with you, and then after that we do Talk Nerdy to Me, and then we watch The Orville on Thursdays, and then we do Talk Nerdy to Me, and it's kind of like an open discussion that we could talk about anything. We talked a little bit about He-Man on Thursday, but I mentioned on Thursday that I was going to upload my video regarding the casting of Noah Centineo as He-Man. I was going to upload the video that I had, and I kind of rewatched the video, and I realized that I was a little negative. Not just negative just to state my opinion, but I felt like I didn't really come across the way I wanted to come across, because I'm not a negative person, you know. I've got my opinions about what I think something should be, and like a lot of people do, right? And so I grew up with He-Man. You know, I've got figures. I'm looking right now at He-Man figures right here on the other side of this camera. And it just is what it is for me. And so it's hard for me to see something that I don't get, that I don't understand. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, here are some pictures of Noah Centineo. When you think about He-Man, what do you think about? You think about a big, strong, you know, muscle-bound kind of guy. I mean, that's why his name is He-Man, you know, and that's what he's been. That's what he has traditionally been, is that role. Now, I know they did the sequel thing to He-Man there for a while. It was kind of like He-Man in space, and he wasn't so huge and whatever, but also that didn't do very well, did it? No, it didn't. And so just a couple months ago, when they started talking about that they were going to be filming this movie this year and that it was actually moving forward this time, I ran into my friend John on the street, and we actually did this video, and you can find it here in the channel. I'll put a link to it down in the description. But we talked about like the He-Man movie, and I was at a conference, and John was at that conference, and so we ran into each other and we talked about it. And the biggest question that we had was, who do you cast as He-Man?
I think they're actually going to start filming this year.
Yeah, but who's going to be He-Man?
I don't know. Who do you?
That's the thing. Who plays He-Man? Because you know, I mean, Lundgren was okay.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger would have been decent back in the day, but there's no bulky big action star out there right now that could do it. Unless, I mean, you could go the direction of like a Rock or somebody maybe, but that completely goes away from the source material.
See, so here's my fear. Here's my fear. John Cena.
Oh. Man.
Because, well, and here's why my fear is John Cena. Because all of a sudden he's popping up in all these movies. Right?
Yeah.
He's making this Hollywood push. He's got the body for it. Just,
I don't know if he's got the chops.
I just don't think he has the chops. I mean, he's got the look. You put that mop top haircut on him, and he actually could pull off the look for sure. Maybe if you replaced his voice.
Yeah, have somebody dub it. You know,
So somebody dub his voice. That would be perfect. And I'd love to see him in some pink and purple for Prince Adam. That would be awesome.
Right? Because we don't live, it's not the 80s. In the 80s, there were all these action stars that were big guys. You had like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. Even though Sylvester Stallone's not a big guy, back then he was kind of a tiny guy, but he could look big, right? And you just had all these action stars. I mean, obviously Dolph Lundgren played He-Man in the Masters of the Universe movie, so there's a look, there's a template for that. But we don't have a lot of that nowadays. We don't have a lot of these big guys who are just action stars. You know, they're kind of like normal sized guys, and they beef up sometimes. But look, I don't want The Rock to play He-Man. I don't think that's good for He-Man. I don't want somebody like Vin Diesel to play He-Man. You know, I want somebody, but you want that body style though, right? So you don't, who's going to do that? And we kind of said, you know, the only person who really kind of would look the part would maybe be like John Cena, if you're going that big. But you know, John Cena is just now starting to get his feet wet in acting, and I don't think that he's where he needs to be, and I don't want to see John Cena do it. So Thursday night we talked about this. I had already shot my video, and I'll just be honest with you, from these pictures of Noah Centineo, it makes me as a fan stop and go, what are we doing here? This guy is a small guy. Look, I understand people can bulk up, people can put on muscle, but this is not just your average guy here. This is He-Man, right? And I keep going back to that it's like there's a template for this already, guys. Noah could be the best actor in the entire world, and he could end up being just phenomenal as an actor. I haven't seen some of his stuff. I know he's done a couple of things here and there, but he could be tremendous that way. But we seem to get a lot of this casting recently in the last few years where we're taking these icons and kind of making them different, right? It's one of the problems that a lot of people had with Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Now, for some people that works. For other people it doesn't. Surprisingly, it kind of works for me because I kind of always saw Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor as kind of an alternate Lex Luthor, almost like, and I even did a video, is this Lex Luthor a clone? Kind of like the 90s Lex Luthor was a clone. But I don't know, that we've never seen that play out. But that's kind of how I looked at him, but I felt that a lot of the pieces were still there. But on the flip side of that, I've taken a lot of flack this week from people here on the channel who really liked Jon Cryer as Lex Luthor, even though I felt that the writing was good. I tried to be very respectful about it, but I felt that the writing was good for the Supergirl episode, and that they wrote Lex Luthor well, and there was a lot of great callbacks. I mean, when he yells, "Miss Tessmacher," that was awesome. But there was something about Jon Cryer that I like Jon Cryer. I was an avid watcher of 2.5 Men, and I followed his career, and I've loved Jon Cryer. But there was just something about him, and I mean, I even appreciated the fact that he was in Superman 4. He played Lenny Luthor, Lex Luthor's nephew, and so I appreciated all those things. There was parts that he got really good, but there were just parts that it just separated me from it. That like I didn't feel that physically he was in command of that role. But I'm still giving him a chance, right? He's still got another episode this next week coming up, and so I'm going to watch that. And then, of course, he's supposed to be in the season finale. So we'll see, and it may change my mind. I don't know. But when I see Noah Centineo just as these pictures, nothing about that says He-Man. And if you're going that route for a He-Man movie where you're going to make it this kind of younger, different body style kind of guy, then I think you run the risk of this just being something that nobody ends up caring about. I don't want this to be just a one movie thing where like after 30 years we finally get a He-Man movie after all this development hell that it's gone through and everything, that we finally get a He-Man movie and then it's just it was a He-Man movie. All right, we move on. I would love to see them do this in a great way with a great actor that would propel it forward, and we'd get a franchise out of it, and it'd be something that would be good. But I think to do that, there's got to be some real thinking behind this, and you got to have some star power. You got to have. I know a lot of people want an unknown for He-Man, but I think there's some people who could do it and do it well. One of the people that come to mind is, and we talked about this in the live stream, and we're actually going to do another video that is a corresponding video to this one, talking about casting the He-Man Masters of the Universe movie, because we talked about it in the live stream and had some great, awesome discussions about who should play various characters. And one of the names that kept coming up for He-Man was Chris Hemsworth. He's playing Thor. It's a similar role. I mean, if anything, it's almost a typecast thing, right? But I think he could do it. I think he's got the look. He can bulk up enough where he doesn't have to look like the huge bodybuilder guy, yet you still believe him as a strong male figure. That's my concern with this, is Noah looks more kind of like a model, right? He's kind of skinny. He's not that big. He could bulk up, yes, I know. But to me, he doesn't have the look. Now, I would rather see this. They could be going a totally different route. Now, in the report that this was talked about in, it said he's playing He-Man. This could be a thing of actually he's playing Prince Adam. And that I would actually be fine with. I could see him as Prince Adam if they do kind of the Shazam thing where, he starts off as this little guy, and they did kind of in the second cartoon that was out a few years ago where he's a smaller guy, but once he gets the power, man, then he's He-Man, and he's huge, and he's big, and there's this difference. And I think that actually works better anyways, because in the old cartoon, he looked the exact same. You had Prince Adam, and you had He-Man. They had the same exact body style, same exact face and haircut, bowl haircut and everything. They just talked a little bit different. So how could you not know that that was He-Man, right? I mean, it's the same exact person. So it's not even a Clark Kent thing where at least you had some glasses or something. It's just same guy, just one is half naked. That's pretty much it, right? So I could see him as a Prince Adam, and then maybe getting somebody else to actually play He-Man. Or do you do a CGI kind of thing where he's kind of more of a CGI character because he's bigger than life? I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is, but I would love to see somebody like Chris Hemsworth step in and do something like that. Now, there's a lot of other actors, and we're gonna do that list in another video. But I'd be interested to hear what you guys. Who would you like to cast in these roles? Who would you like to be He-Man or Man-at-Arms or Teela, the Sorceress, Skeletor? Right? Who would you like to see play Skeletor? And we even talked about, just because of the face thing, you could do that CGI and have a great voice actor play the voice. But with Evil Lyn, Beast Man, all these other characters, who would you like to see play those characters? What do you think of this casting? I don't want to be as negative as I was in my first video, because in my first video I was just like, this is awful. I hate this casting. This was not going to work for me, and I'm not going to accept it. Blah. I'm trying to be positive, folks. Okay? And I'm trying to say, obviously, if this is our He-Man, we're going to have to give him a chance, and we're going to have to figure something out. But this is not the guy that I would cast. And watching the internet, it's not who anybody would cast. When you look at this guy, you don't see He-Man. I asked my own boys. My boys know who He-Man is. They haven't watched it like I have, and grew up with it. But they know who He-Man is, and they've watched He-Man with me at times, and they all looked at it and laughed because they said, that doesn't look like He-Man at all. But I digress. So I ask you, what do you think of this casting? Do you think that this is good casting? Have you seen him in anything and you think, man, I think he could pull it off? Do you think that he should just be a Prince Adam type figure? Or do you think that he can actually bulk up and do this? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments section, all right? Let me know. Tell me your favorite choice to play He-Man or your favorite choice to play one of the characters. And if you do that, where is he? Don't forget our giveaway. Today, my family is going to see Shazam, and we'll do a review. We'll do a couple of reviews. We'll do a non-spoiler and a spoiler review for anybody who just doesn't care and you want to know what happens in the movie. But in the meantime, we got a giveaway. That's right, a Shazam giveaway. There it is. Look at him. All Shazam-y and everything. And you can win this. All you have to do is be a subscriber to the channel, hit notifications, leave a comment, like I said, about who you would cast as He-Man or any one of the other characters and what you think of this casting of Noah Centineo. And if you do that, guess what? You're in the running for this. Also, tell us that you want the figure. If you don't want the figure, then don't say it. But if you want the figure, put in there, hey, Enash, by the way, want to be in the running for the figure. And we will give this away at the end of the month to celebrate the new movie Shazam. All right, we got a couple other things coming up in the next month or two. We want to hear from you. Don't forget to follow us on social media, all of our platforms. All that information is in the description below. If you made it this far, we definitely appreciate you guys. This is the Poindexter Lounge, folks. This is what we do. This is a place for nerds to talk about things. There are no wrong beliefs or whatever. You may like Noah Centineo. You may like things that I don't like, and that's, you know what? That's okay. That's all right. Because we're all nerds. We can like something different. All right. Until next time, my name is Enosh, like I said, and the power's in you. Power of Grayskull. We got it. Let's hope Noah Centineo has it if he stays in the character. All right, guys. Until next time, Shazam. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. So if you've made it this far into the video, thanks so much. We're so glad to have you here. Please make sure to like this video, hit subscribe, and as always, hit the notifications bell so that you know when we put out new videos, which is like all the time. Thanks for coming along for the ride. We hope you're here for more.